Today we're going to smoke a brisket, and we're going to talk about some wild hog smoking here today on Coach's Barbecue. Welcome everybody. I just wanted to do a follow-up to the video that I did earlier about the construction of our cinder block indirect smoker. So today is my birthday and we are having a little get together, and I decided to smoke a brisket, as well as I have a wild hog that I shot with my bow, and we decided to smoke one of the, I believe it's a ham quarter. It's a pretty large piece of meat, so we'll show you how that works on that. So as I talked about earlier, you can see the smokestack. We've got a nice clean smoke coming out of the top. Not a lot of heavy dark smoke, just a nice light roll, but a good flow through. That's going to give us a good flavor. So let's come across here and we'll talk about the firebox and whatnot. Here's my little setup, if you will. I've got a couple chairs here, and you always got to keep a shovel on hand. I've got a couple shovels, and that's the way I'm starting it. I've found that that's working super well to get the coals up quickly. As I take a bag of the charcoal briquettes, and I kind of nestle them in a square position in between some logs, and then fire it up with our propane fire there, and that really gets it going. Of course, I got the radio. I got welding gloves. I would highly recommend those. A pair of welding gloves, that way you can get in there and grab the wood and do whatever you need to do without getting burnt. I've got my spritz and my towel. I just use, you can use whatever you want. I use water and Worcestershire sauce, kind of a 1-to-1 ratio. You know, mix it up. I'm definitely going to try Dr. Pepper soon, and maybe a Coca-Cola. But you know, you could use hot sauce. You could use whatever you want in there. Just something to keep it moist. All right, so let's come this way. So here's the firebox, and it's got a good roll. As you can see, I've got it open, so it's getting good, clean oxygen running through there. We don't want to choke it off. And kind of give you a quick shot inside. You can see a nice little nestled fire. I've got a really nice bed of coals. We've been cooking since, oh gosh, since 12 hours. We've been cooking straight 12 hours. This brisket that I have on here is a 14-pound brisket. So it is, you know, definitely we need a couple more hours of cooking here. So I'm going to put a glove on, and let's come over here and let's take a look at what we got going on underneath the hood. So I've got this temperature gauge. This is one of those, it's a Maverick ET733. I got to tell you, I love that. It has two probes. You can see the two wires, one there and one over here. And that way I can measure two sides, both sides, the hot, well, I have the head, and I have the tail end where the pipe is. So I'm able to kind of get a good range of ideas. You can set your time, you can set the an alarm on it in case it gets too hot, in case it gets too cold. And it has two sections. You can actually put both in meat if you want to measure the temperature of meat, or one in meat and one in the chamber. You can mix it up. It's a great little setup. I got mine for like $69. As you can see, I've got a 261 and a 241. So I got 241 over here and 261 over here. So that's pretty much perfect. That's about where I want it to be. So let's crack this bad boy open and let's see what we got going on. All right, so you can see, oh yeah, there's the brisket right there. It's got pretty good color on that brisket. Come over here and get this one off too. We'll do it real quickly here. Great, so that is excellent color. That brisket is just looking fantastic. I've got a bowl of water in there. That's keeping the moisture. I'm going to touch this and see where we're at on it. We don't want it too stiff or too hard. It's pretty moist. You can see a little pool of moisture right there. So that's really keeping it going well. And this is fat side up. I like to cook it with the point towards the heat. The point of the brisket's towards the heat, getting the most because it's covered with the most fat. And then the flank back here in the back, this is towards the cooler side, if you will, so it's not catching all the heat. This is a wild boar, a wild hog that I shot with my bow, about 350-pound hog, and that is a ham quarter, and that's looking pretty good. We seasoned it with just salt and pepper, and a heavy salt and pepper, and put it on there. Yeah, okay, that's pretty moist. That's feeling pretty good as well. So you can see the grate. One thing I forgot to tell you guys a long time ago, down in the bottom, I've got pea gravel. I put pea gravel down in the bottom to catch all the drippings and everything. So let's go ahead and try to get these back. Get these back and set where they need to be. Get this one, goodbye Mr. Pork. He's doing really well. Okay, good, excellent. So, knocked my little thing off. There we go. All right, so we're looking pretty good. I'll give you a further update maybe later on when I'm eating it. But it's looking really good. Again, remember, you want to indirect heat. You want it as close to 250 degrees as possible. That's where you want it to be sitting around. And you want to go about 1 hour per pound. So I've got that 14-pound brisket in there. Now, I started that way earlier than the other one. The hog I started about 4 o'clock this morning. So it's going to cook a little bit longer than the brisket. It'll be on the smoker longer, that is. All right, so listen, I appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions at all, please just leave it in the comments. Like it if you like the video, and you're welcome to email me or text, or not text me, but email me any questions you might have, and I'd be happy to help you out. You have a wonderful day, and I hope things are fantastic for you. Keep that sweet meat to smoking.